How often does a fleeting moment of irritation, a sharp word, or an unwarranted slight derail your entire day? One instance of disrespect, one minor inconvenience, and suddenly you find yourself adrift on a tumultuous sea of emotion, uttering words that you later desperately wish you could retract. This overwhelming sensation of losing control, of being swept away by an emotional tide, is a universally recognized human experience. We ask ourselves, why does it feel as though we possess no real agency when our feelings flare? And more crucially, how can we reclaim that vital sense of mastery over ourselves and our reactions? Ancient Stoic philosophers, thinkers whose wisdom has transcended countless centuries, posited that the true arena of conflict lies not in the external world, not with other people, nor with challenging circumstances, but rather within the intricate landscape of your own mind. They profoundly understood that genuine power is not manifested through louder retorts or more aggressive posturing, but paradoxically in the profound absence of any reaction at all. The path to inner strength, they taught, is paved with the deliberate choice of serenity over chaos, the unwavering refusal to surrender your inner tranquility to anyone who has not earned the right to disturb it. This exploration will illuminate the precise methodologies by which you can cultivate an unwavering calm, allowing you to remain undisturbed by external provocations, not by artificially stifling your authentic feelings, but by fundamentally re-engineering the very pathways of your emotional responses. You are about to uncover practical, empirically tested Stoic strategies, techniques that have withstood the trials of time and human experience, designed to empower you to introduce a crucial pause before succumbing to knee-jerk reactions. These methods will equip you to gracefully disengage from influences and outcomes that ultimately do not serve your highest good, and to master your emotional landscape with the unwavering composure and strategic foresight of a true warrior of the mind. It is absolutely essential to recognize that struggling with these intensely human emotions does not signify weakness. It merely underscores your humanity. Every single individual throughout the annals of time has confronted the searing heat of anger and felt the piercing sting of disrespect. Yet only a select few ever truly ascend above these primal urges, transforming their inherent responses. This is precisely where your journey of transformation begins. If you have ever found yourself utterly depleted, feeling as though your emotional well-being has been mercilessly hijacked, then this message is profoundly for you. Consider embracing these Stoic strategies, perhaps by sharing these insights with someone in your life who desperately yearns to reclaim their lost inner peace. For once you grasp the profound tenets of Stoicism, you do not merely manage the volatile forces of anger. You transcend them, becoming virtually impervious to their corrosive effects. And this, without exaggeration, fundamentally redefines everything. The first cornerstone of this transformative approach is to consciously reframe emotional outbursts. See them not as intrinsic flaws or unchangeable aspects of your personality, but rather as deeply ingrained habits. Habits that, critically, can be systematically unlearned. You were not ushered into this world pre-programmed for anger. You did not emerge from birth predisposed to snapping impatiently at fellow motorists in traffic, nor to slamming doors in frustration, nor to incessantly replaying bothersome conversations in your mind for countless hours on end. That automatic reaction, the one that now feels so utterly ingrained it seems an inseparable part of who you are, was acquired. It was meticulously picked up and reinforced over numerous years of accumulating stress, inflated pride, and a societal narrative that persistently, often overtly, instructs men that they must embody traits of toughness, loudness, and dominance to be considered strong. But here lies the profound and often overlooked truth. Authentic strength, the kind that truly endures, is not loud. It is profoundly silent. The most formidable presence in any given room is not the individual who shouts the loudest, but rather the one who remains utterly unflustered, who does not recoil, who never barks back in reflexive defense, and who steadfastly refuses to allow their inner peace to be disturbed by inconsequential or petty annoyances. Anger, therefore, is far more than a mere fleeting sensation. It is a deeply entrenched behavioral pattern, a powerful habit. And just like any other habit, no matter how deeply ingrained, it possesses the potential to be irrevocably broken. However, before you can dismantle it, you must first perceive it for what it truly is. A predictable chain reaction, a self-perpetuating cycle that continues only because you actively, albeit often unconsciously, nourish it. Imagine the scenario. A driver abruptly cuts you off in traffic. Your supervisor addresses you with condescending tones. Your life partner utters a comment that strikes you as sharp or unfair. And before your rational brain has even a fraction of a second to process the input, your mouth instinctively fires off a retort. That precisely is the insidious cycle. And regrettably, the vast majority of individuals remain ensnared within its confines throughout the entirety of their lives, mistakenly convinced that this reactive pattern is simply an immutable part of their inherent nature. Yet the Stoic thinkers viewed this phenomenon through an entirely different, far more illuminating lens. They did not categorize anger as an inherent personality trait or an unavoidable aspect of temperament. Instead, they discerned it as a subtle weakness, cunningly disguised as strength or justified indignation. The venerable Epictetus, a prominent Stoic philosopher, once uttered a profoundly challenging truth. Any person capable of anger is a slave to it. This statement, while undoubtedly harsh in its bluntness, resonates with an undeniable veracity. When you react with unthinking impulsivity, when you lash out without conscious deliberation, you effectively relinquish your personal power to the very external stimulus that initially provoked you. You render yourself utterly predictable, disconcertingly easy to manipulate, and ultimately emotionally drained and utterly exhausted. Now let us vividly paint a common scenario. You find yourself standing patiently in a seemingly endless queue at the Department of Motor Vehicles. You have already dedicated a full hour, perhaps even more, of your precious time to this mundane task. Then, without a hint of hesitation or apology, someone boldly and brazenly cuts directly in front of you, as if they possess an inherent right to do so. In that precise instant, you feel it stirring within you. A tightness begins to constrict your chest. Your jaw involuntarily clenches, and an almost overwhelming urge to retaliate, to bark back a sharp rebuke surges through your being. That singular moment right there, that is your personal battlefield. In this pivotal instant, you are presented with a binary choice. You can either engage in the same old, tired war, the one you have consistently and predictably lost countless times before. Or alternatively, you can introduce a deliberate pause, a fraction of a second of conscious disengagement, and then ask yourself one exquisitely simple yet profoundly transformative question. Will allowing myself to become angry right now in this situation genuinely make anything better? You already intimately know the answer to that question. You have lived the answer time and time again. You have undoubtedly lashed out in anger previously. And what precisely did those outbursts ever truly yield for you? Absolutely nothing. Nothing but an increased burden of stress, an accumulating weight of profound regret, and a widening chasm of distance between your current self and the composed, masterful individual you aspire to become. This precisely is the juncture where Stoic philosophy fundamentally reorients your entire approach to life. You are not being asked, nor are you expected, to suppress your authentic feelings, to deny their existence. Instead, you are invited to step metaphorically outside of them. Observe them, watch them with detached curiosity, much as you would calmly observe clouds drifting serenely across the vast expanse of the sky. Acknowledge their presence, let them register. But crucially, do not under any circumstances permit them to seize the steering wheel and drive your actions. The mind, your rational, discerning self, that is the rightful driver. That is the true locus of power, the strength that Stoic practitioners meticulously build through years of rigorous self-discipline and unwavering practice. Most individuals navigate through life under the deeply ingrained misconception that their anger is entirely justified. They mistakenly believe that a display of anger serves as irrefutable proof of their deeply held concern, their passion, or their unwavering commitment. They often equate maintaining a state of calm in the face of provocation with either weakness, apathy, or a lack of genuine engagement. But the profound truth is precisely the inverse of this common belief. Anyone, absolutely anyone, can explosively vent their frustrations. That is by far the easiest path. What is genuinely difficult, what truly demands unwavering discipline, profound emotional maturity, and an authentic, unyielding backbone, is to steadfastly remain composed, poised, and utterly unflappable when every single element and circumstance around you is aggressively attempting to destabilize your equilibrium. When someone directs disrespect towards you, and you steadfastly refuse to grant them the perverse satisfaction of witnessing your composure crack, of seeing you flinch even an inch, that, my friend, is the epitome of true dominance. When the capricious currents of life hurl utter chaos directly into your path and you manage to stand absolutely still, anchored and unmoving amidst the maelstrom, that unmistakably is the ultimate expression of control. So what then is your prescribed course of action the next time that familiar fiery surge begins to ignite within your chest? You pause. You take a slow, deliberate, calming breath. You quietly, yet firmly remind yourself of this immutable truth. This anger, this intense urge to react is merely a deeply ingrained habit. I am no longer compelled to wear its chains, and then having made that conscious choice, you gracefully disengage and walk away. Not because you are weak or incapable of confronting the perceived slight, but precisely because you have cultivated an inner strength so profound, so unyielding that you have grown far too powerful to squander your precious peace on trivialities or passing provocations. Your peace, your inner tranquility is too valuable to relinquish.